Good morning and welcome to another wild word of wisdom. Wow. Um, Today we're talking about here and now. And if you have been anywhere in the arena of mental health or anywhere on social media, you'll hear a lot of talk about mindfulness. Really is a part of self-care. And what mindfulness is really is just honing in and focusing on the here and now, being able to be present, fully present in this moment, not distracted by all of the other stuff. So this concept of here and now is so powerful because it means you don't want to waste your time and energy focused on everything else because we really only have this particular moment to be. And you might have heard the cliche, they call it the present because it's a gift. And that is so very true. And still, I want to kind of poke you a little bit to think of the here and now really started there and then. Whatever your there and then was, so many of us are taught or choose to believe you don't look back. You can't look back. You should only be looking forward. It's a waste of time to look back. But I challenge folks and say, if you've ever tried to get from one location to another, especially if you're on a long trip, without ever using your side mirrors or your rear view mirror, you are more than likely going to either be in an accident or cause one, sometimes obliviously, because that means you're that person who's changing your lanes and cutting me off without even realizing that I was coming up on your blind side. There's a purpose for those mirrors. The challenge is if you're trying to drive going forward, totally looking back all the time and just using your rear view, yeah, you're going to have a problem. There's a balance, there's a place, there's a space where you need to check those side views because you do need to know what's coming up on you from what's behind you. You need to know what thoughts are racing in. You need to know what memories are flooding in. You need to know what experiences are coming up on you that you didn't even realize were back there, and they were gaining speed. They were coming up on you. And just when you thought you were at the space in life where you were going to get off your exit to achieve your next best, boom, you're slamming into something that came up from behind you. And that's a big deal. That's something for us to think about. And think about it with your rear view. You ever try to park without using your rear view? You try to get into a spot, you parallel park, or anything like that, without taking a look to see that rear view allows you to see what's behind you, to see what spaces there around you. Your side views tell you where your lines are, so you know where your boundaries are. There is a beauty to being able to look back. If we refuse to look back, it's usually because we're afraid of what we're going to see back there. There are many of us that are walking in our present beauty and in our present self as though we don't have a string of dead bodies behind us, dead relationships, broken hearts, bruises to our souls, bruises to our spirit, bruises to our hearts. And they are interfering with how we do present relationships. They are interfering with how we are able to walk out our destiny. They're interfering with how we're able to achieve and move up the ladder of success. And we continue to ignore that there and then really happened. There's this concept, everything that's buried ain't dead. And if there are things kicking your casket, there are things that are saying, get out, we need to talk about these. Those are things you may need to talk about with your sister. Those are things you may need to talk about with your mother. Those are things that you may think you need to talk about with your third grade teacher who was real mean and nasty and said some things to you that shouldn't have been said. Some of those things will get to happen. You might be able to have some of those conversations, but some of those conversations are just going to happen between you and your God. To be able to talk about it, though, to say, yeah, that really hurt. Because any of you that got to this space in history with everything that we have been through and have no scars to show for it, you hid in a cave. Now, here's the deal. Some of our scars don't show. That's a whole different conversation. We'll have one another day. Some of us have tatted over them, so you can't really see that they're there, but they're in there. So, how about we take an opportunity and gift ourselves with the opportunity to be able to truly do here and now by making peace with the there and then? We can't fix all of it. We won't be able to erase all the pain of it, but to be able to look it in the face and say, that is my story. That is a gift. That is wild.